right, we'll start with a levity. That's 1937 Mac was Nottingham's first due piece. Things have changed since 1937. We tend not to write on running boards, and we look a little different these days. Okay. Here's where we are today. Engine 3. Engine 3 has reached its end of life. It's 21 years old. If that's unexpected, it's not a surprise. We've been planning for it. Continued full service of Engine 3 results in risk of breakdown and escalating maintenance costs. The town has three options. We could do nothing. We could keep Engine 3 as a full service engine and assume the risk. We could purchase a new engine, or we can purchase a Quint. After analysis, Nottingham Fire Rescue recommends that we purchase a Quint. And I believe we went into the details of what a Quint is back at the last meeting. Basically, it's an engine with an aerial capability. It has all the four functions of a pumper engine, but it has an aerial capability added to it. Firefighters are expected to climb ladders. It's part of the business, okay? For various tasks, from venting a roof to a chimney fire to effecting a rescue, expected to climb a ladder. We're not saying that. We don't understand that. Today, we deal with structures that have steel roofs, metal roofs, that sort of stuff, which cause it even more danger. As you see here, this was a recent chimney fire. Take a look at the roof ladder placement. It's not exactly the safest. A lot of risk there for the firefighters. The surface of the ladder where the second firefighter, is not much pitch on that roof, but it was extremely slippery. That was firefighter Patterson. He was here for the last meeting. He's not here now. He could explain how slippery steel roofs are, metal roofs are, and that's in a dry situation, not in a snow covered or anything else like that. This is a photo of a structure fire we had in 2014, I believe. What I want to show here is that this is actually, if you go from the ground level, it's approximately 4 stories plus a loft above it. The fire was located in the 4th story, in the 4th area. That's the fire self-venting through the roof. We had a mutual aid department. We had given the mutual aid department the assignment to ladder the roof and vent the roof with our 35-foot ladder, and it wasn't done because of unsafe conditions, because of the slope on the side and the slippery conditions. At this time, there were 4 firefighters. 3 of them are in the room right now that are up in that 4th floor right there fighting that fire during that time. This is after we evacuated that same structure. You can see the fire was visible through the roof line on the gable end. We had evacuated the structure because it had become unsafe at that time. You can see there's a 24-foot, there's a ground ladder thrown up to that 3rd floor right there, for safety, for escape purposes. The purpose of this slide is to show with a Quint also comes with a master stream device that's remote control at the tip of the ladder. That master stream is a large nozzle, delivers a lot of gallons of water. It's directable from the turntable. You don't have to operate it from the top. That master stream device perhaps could have been used to extinguish that fire in that eve area without having to have anybody climb up in that area to do it again, to do it the other way. So I'm getting into the safety aspect of what a Quint will provide, not only to the residents but also to the firefighters in the town. This is an interior shot going up to the 4th floor. This is what the firefighters had to deal with in both, advancing the attack line and also during the withdrawal stage. Narrow, one way in, one way out type of structure. And at the time, the photo on the left is going between the 3rd and the 4th floor, and I'm pretty sure it was banked with smoke all the way down. There was very limited visibility at that time. Not something. This is intended to show with that master stream device, we would be able perhaps to provide more protection in a fully involved structure for the remaining portions of the structure by placing it in a more effective position. And I'll show you a little more. There's another slide. I'll explain that a little more. This is the method for venting a roof. Once the structure fire has begun. The area begins to fill with flammable gas, unburned fuel in the form of smoke. So one of the key tasks are to vent it as soon as possible, but at the key moment. So we have to put firefighters on the roof to actually cut a hole and create like a chimney effect to let those those gases escape. This is the method that's used with a ground ladder and a roof ladder, and not exactly. Again, it's part of the risk of firefighting, but it's again, it's a dry roof right there to show that. This was a recent, it's probably about 2 weeks ago in the state of New Hampshire. I got this WMUR Union Leader or something, a total loss structure fire. If you look on the right-hand side of the photo, you can see where there's a hand line. Going to point over there, that area.
Oh, square.
Yeah, right over there is a hand line. Somebody, that's the method. With a Quint and a master stream device, to be able to raise the ladder, be able to apply the water stream over that wall and effectively use the water. You can see that hose there is not providing much of anything at that point. And that's what I wanted to show, is that, you know, attacking a fire of that size from a hand line is not very efficient, nor, you know, rewarding. The outcome is never good. Okay. Another challenge that we are facing are photovoltaic cells. In 2015, there were five structures in Nottingham. We're chasing down with the building inspector the number and the locations of where they are. They provide hazards not only for footing on the roof, but also electrical hazards associated with them. We're identifying where the structures are with the dispatch center, so there's a dispatch note. If, God forbid, I hope it's none of your houses, something happens there, the dispatcher will alert the first officer on that there's a unique hazard with that residence. That's you know, dangerous from an electrical standpoint. Also, to use a roof ladder, trying to ladder that roof. Sure. I believe there's several companies reaching out to residents all over the country, or even, you know, to install these things on your home. So I think we're going to see an increase in the presence of them.
Every couple of days, we're gonna get a phone call for
Yeah. This is the school in Nottingham, and now I want to just show you. The school utilizes a lightweight truss construction. What they are is using gusset plates with lighter lumber. It's not a stick-built conventional rafter type. I'll give you an example. The area by the library, that B phase right there, that length right there, that's all truss construction. There's one way in there through a scuttle in a janitor's closet outside of the gym area. There's at least 2, possibly 3 heat exchangers, propane-fed heat exchangers in that overhead. The point I want to make here, that, you know, for us to fight a fire in that area, we'd have to go in through the roof, because we wouldn't be able to send a crew up through that scuttle. Okay, just because of the distance it is from everywhere else. Number one, that's the only way in, one way out. And I want to highlight also, not only unique to the school, but the lightweight truss construction is something that common in residences throughout the town too. The point with the lightweight truss construction is that they tend to fail in a short time frame, somewhere around 10 minutes of flame impingement. Those plates fail because, you know, they're not that rugged to begin with. Yep. So. Some background, the Quint discussion started around 2014. It was originally included in the CIP in 2014. Our first demo was in September in 2014. We had demoed a Quint from one of the manufacturers. And the committee has spent hours in reviewing specs and contacting vendors. And, it's not something that we've taken lightly. We've been working on it for some time. Okay, we'll go into a summary of options. Like I said when I started, we're faced with 3 options as we see it. Do nothing, keep engine 3 the way it is right now, purchase a new engine, or purchase a new Quint. I go into more detail on every one of these slides, but if you look across in the economic area, it's unknown for engine 3, because we don't know what corrective action will be required, corrective maintenance, if we keep it as a second new engine, that sort of. A new engine is in the realm of $500,000 to purchase. The Quint, we're talking about $750,000, fully outfitted, in-service price. That's it. We talk about life safety. We don't see any change in life safety between a new engine and engine 3, but there is increased life safety to be had from a Quint. Property preservation, again, on the Quint area, we see that there's a potential for increased property preservation by using a Quint. Access, and I'll show you some dimensional stuff. We're saying it's the same as our engine and tanker as far as access to properties in town. Incident management, it improved with a Quint, same between an engine and a new engine. Operators and travel, we're talking about manpower here. All three take one driver, one pump operator. Operators on scene, it's a single driver, a pump operator, but the pump operator also gets the chore of erecting the ladder, the aerial device, until there's additional people there, and you can split up some of them. But the same driver does engage the pump and does extend the ladder, okay? Functionality, there's no change between the engines, basically, if we bought a new engine and or kept engine 3, but there's additional functionality to be had with the Quint. Training, we'll go right over to a new engine. It would be, I say same as an engine, it would be, it's factory, it's a factory type training course. It's actually done by the dealer. It's 1 to 2 days for an engine, and for a Quint, we're talking about 4-day initial training provided by the dealer. The ongoing, residual training, there's no change with the existing engine. New engine or a Quint, we'd have to add it to our normal training plan, our annual training plan. Maintenance, again, corrective maintenance is unknown with engine 3, and any new maintenance with an engine or Quint will be added to our normal operating procedures. Looking at the economic area, I said with engine 3, it's pretty, the do-nothing option's pretty straightforward there. New engine, we talk 500K. We talk about applying the capital reserve balance, which is 320K. The amount to be financed will be 180K. For a new Quint, we're talking 750K for the purchase price, utilizing the capital reserve and financing 430,000. Annual payment, we like to keep that at the $100,000, not to exceed the $100,000 range, because the strategy is we don't want to increase the tax burden. The total payment will be the new capital reserve funds plus the total payment, bring it up to 100K. Try to build up or maintain a little of capital reserve. This is consistent with history, and this is Mr. Sterndale had touched on this. If we go back to 2015, it was $49,000 for utility and $50,000 for capital reserve. If we go back further, we'll see that when engine 2 was being financed, it was in the $83,000 total, between 50 and 37, 33 for the payment cost of engine 2. So if you look at the total investment in the fire department, it was in the 80, 90, and we're saying we don't want to exceed the $100,000 range right there, okay? It's consistent with our original intent of capital reserve. The capital reserve was reinvigorated somewhere around 2009, 10 when we purchased engine 2. That was a big cost item, like $350,000, and we knew that the cost of the apparatus has increased. So the intent of the capital reserve was to offset some of that cost. I don't think we ever intended the capital reserve to ever cover the cost based on just to offset it. Okay. On repair costs, do nothing is the corrective maintenance, and both the new engine and the Quint would be warranty, and the warranties vary based on the manufacturer, based on the component also. So life safety, it's our position that a new Quint provides additional life safety, and what I have quoted in the bottom is from Exeter, New Hampshire. It's Chief Como's quote on their website, saying that ladder trucks are a key piece of equipment for a town's fire protection, as its main purpose is to save lives. The ladder truck provides a solid work platform for firefighters to rescue trapped occupants, provide safer conditions to operate on a roof, to ventilate smoke and hazardous gases through the roof, and keep our firefighters safe, and to mitigate damage at the scene of a building fire. So, I plagiarized, Exeter, New Hampshire's.
You gave him credit for it. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Chief Como, off buy him a coffee if he complains. And again, for property preservation, it's our position that a Quint would increase, our capability in preserving property. And again, I'm gonna use that same quote, not to use it everywhere, but, I think it captures the rationale behind it. Access, I realize and I understand that, there was discussion, concern about the size of the apparatus and access to properties within the town. The upper left-hand corner is a picture of our present, tank one. The overall length of this piece of apparatus is 34 feet. Right directly below it is, Epping's Engine 3, I believe they call it Engine 3. That is their mutual aid piece, that's their first new engine, that went in service 2 years ago for Epping. Take a look, it's 39 feet, that comes here mutual aid automatic, it comes here invited, okay? Large trucks are here, but we've used them and we'll continue to use them, okay? Upper right is, Lee's new Tanker 3, they're running that as an engine, it's got a 6-person cab, that's on their run cards for mutual aid. There's a zone or two, that's coming to Nottingham mutual aid, okay? 36 feet in length. In the lower right is a representative of, what we're looking at. This is a 80 foot Quint that Chester, New Hampshire has, a tandem axle one, and they use that as their first new engine, and that's 37 feet. So if you compare to 37, 36, 39, it's 3 feet longer than our current tank one, but it's in the ballpark of what the apparatus neighboring towns are bringing and using right now.
So the Quint would be able to give you access anywhere in town?
I wouldn't say 100%, 90% is the number I'm gonna quote. Wherever we can get an engine or a tanker into, our engine and tanker would be able to get the Quint, and I would say that, because our engine is a large piece also, okay? I'm sure there's some out there that,
Yeah, okay, let me just speak to that one, Chief,
Okay.
if I could, because I had that concern. Living where I live, you know, on a dirt road, at the end of a dirt road. So, that was a big question that I had for the chief, was whether or not the Quint would get to my house, right? And, as he pointed out to me, Engine 2 has been at my house. Not because of an issue,
No,
but,
no,
you know,
no, I
but,
could
but
see.
Engine 2 has been at my house and had no trouble maneuvering around, the area. So that, answered that question for me. So, I mean, again, I'm sure there's, you know, maybe a small percentage of places that it might not, but I think that the majority of areas that I was concerned about are like where I live.
Right. Those are concerned with also, but, that makes sense.
Yeah.
so we're saying there's no change in property access. If we can get our engine and tanker to your house, we'd be able to quit their house. Okay. And these are the sizes of, okay, engine 2 right now is 33 feet, tank 1 is 34, and once again, down in the bottom, I'm showing, Chester 80 foot at 37 feet. So we're talking 3 feet longer than our longest piece, which is a tanker.
And the board of selectmen inquired as to whether or not this piece of equipment would fit in our fire barn now. And it does, and there is room for it, it wouldn't have to be an addition to the fire station.
In incident management, we're saying we have improved, scene management with the use of a Quint, and the Quint is actually a force multiplier. I'll give you an example of a 35-foot ground ladder. It takes 3 people to raise it, 1 person to climb, and 1 person to stabilize. 1 person is married to hold that ladder from behind, from the base there, with, in a precarious position. It's a dangerous position to be in. Drop hazard, people falling on them, dropping things on them, okay? With an aerial ladder, it takes 1 person to raise it and 1 person to climb. There is no manual stabilization required. We don't have to, assign a firefighter to stabilize that ladder while they're up there. It's a force multiplier also from, point of view of having, the master stream device on the top. Like I said, that's remotely controlled from the turntable, from the ladder operator's position. That it's directable, and you know, every access up and down, there are limits in how high and low it can go, and also the stream patterns selectable from that point, so you don't have to put somebody up at the tip of the ladder to do it. The ladder is, that is also, that master stream device is also, the buzzword is pinnable. Okay, so you're able to use it at different levels. It doesn't have to travel to the full extension of the ladder. You could use that to apply water to fire that's below actually where the firefighters are working. Say you had a fire on the second floor or first floor, you had to go to the second floor. You could use that device on the first floor to keep the fire somewhat in check while there's a rescue being provided on above it, okay? So it's not necessarily has to travel the full length of the ladder. It can be selectable in between there, okay? Functional, okay. We're saying a new Quint over a new engine or our current engine 3 provides us with added aerial ladder capability, gives us safe roof access. There's an internet picture of roof venting going in the lower left-hand corner. The center photo is actually showing that master stream device in use at the tip of the ladder. And the third photo on the right for added rescue capability is showing a water rescue that, again, about two weeks ago, was prior to our meeting with the selectmen. It was Midwest. They had some heavy-duty flooding a couple weeks ago, and that was a photo that came out how to use a ladder to get some poor folk off his pickup truck out there. So whether or not that capability gets used, I'm not saying, but it gives us the
Never know this town.
it gives us added resources. Okay. This is 1995. E1 was the provider. This is our engine 3. It's 32 feet in length. It carries 1,000 gallons of water. It has a 1250 pump, and it does carry our 35-foot ground ladder. This is the truck we're talking about. Replacing.
Right.
Functionally replacing, but it comes into, there's another slide, next slide comes into what, some of the options with that engine, okay?
Right, because you're gonna hold on to it to use it for highway safety.
Motor vehicle piece is what we would recommend, okay?
Good question.
That answered it, thank you.
Okay. What to do with engine 3? It's a 95 Freightliner, it's been in service 20, assuming the town agrees to purchase a replacement, the options are we sell it. I was quoted over a year ago, $10,000 approximately on a consignment sale from one of the dealers. Past history, in 2008-9 range, when we purchased the HME that we have now, our current engine 2, we sold our previous engine 2, which was a 20-year-old piece, and I believe we got $1,500 for it on a bid. That's how much it was a contractor that bought it. There's not a lot of resale value on 21-year-old pieces, okay? So we would recommend that we retain it and use it as our primary for our motor vehicle accidents. We keep all our extrication tools, our vehicle stabilization tools on it. We would keep it as a reserve engine, basically. We would not strip any of the hose or anything. We'd use it as a reserve engine, but it would be primarily used for motor vehicle pieces, and we would reassess that yearly based on maintenance, what the maintenance costs are for it. I'll give you a highlight. We typically use the oldest piece for motor vehicle accidents, obviously, because they're in harm's way. Just Saturday it was used 2-3 times. Remember Saturday morning how icy it was? It was used as a blocker. We used it as a blocker to protect us or close the road, because people tend to like to sneak around vehicles. It was used Saturday for at least 2 motor vehicle accidents on slippery roads, and Monday, it went out Monday, also for another motor vehicle accident. So we tend to use the older piece because damage, that sort of stuff, if it is damaged, certainly don't want to use the newest, most expensive piece out there as a blocker. And back to the same summary. The bottom line is, for a $250,000 delta, it buys an increased firefighter safety and increased property preservation. The delta I'm talking about is between the cost of an engine and the cost of a new Quint. Delay. We've looked at this through the life cycle of our apparatus right now. If we were to purchase this truck in the 2016 fiscal year, we wouldn't take delivery for almost a year. We wouldn't get 300 some days. They quote numbers around 300.
They say 300, it's pretty close to a year for delivery.
For delivery. But if you look at the life cycle of ours, we have the capability of if we financed it for 6 years, having this truck paid off before we looked at the next replacement, which is 2023, 2024. We have a possibility of rebuilding capital reserve in 23 and 24, when we had to go out and purchase another piece, okay? That's where we're looking at in the life cycle. Okay. Our recommendation is the budget committee support the warrant article and let the taxpayers make the decision on whether or not a Quint is the right piece for this town at this time. I want to thank you.